Hello, everybody. My name's Emma Duncan, and I'm the current president of the American Society for Bone and Mineral Research. Today, I've got the privilege of talking with Dr. Shivani Sani, who is the chairperson of the Membership Engagement Committee. Welcome, Shivani.
Thank you, Emma. It's a pleasure to be here speaking with you.
It's a joy to have you here. So the first question I ask committee chairs is, what is the remit of your committee?
So membership engagement is so important. It impacts all of our members. And the goal of our committee is to nurture and develop young investigators as well as mid-career members, and in general, just support and develop programming for their professional development.
I'm sure that our chairperson for our forthcoming annual scientific meeting, Jo Staines, has probably been talking with you. This is so important, and it's going to be a key part of our annual scientific meeting coming up. So it's a delight to hear that the committee is really addressing this the entire time, not just around the annual scientific meeting, but also outside of the annual scientific meeting too.
Oh, yes, that's true. We are a committee of about 11 members, and we meet routinely to brainstorm ideas in how we can, not just develop programming for all our members, but keep them continuously engaged so that they feel like ASBMR is their home where they can come back and present their cutting edge research. And given that our committee impacts everybody, we also work very closely with all other committee members. We routinely meet to provide recommendations on their programming, as well as to get feedback on the ideas that we are developing to bring both at the annual committee as well as outside of it through webinars.
Yep. I think this last point is something we're trying really hard during our strategic program is to make membership of the ASBMR, although the ASM is really important, to be beyond just the annual scientific meeting, to make sure that we offer our members value for their membership year round and wherever they may be and whatever their career stage is.
I think that's so important in this digital age.
Yeah.
Sometimes, for good reason, people are unable to attend the meeting. And even when people do meet, the main focus is to absorb all the science and to network. But sometimes people need more programming that could be perhaps in depth, and we can provide through webinars. We also have scientific interest groups that we are developing. We launched two last year, one on rare bone disease and the other one on muscle and bone health. And they are developing so well, and we have plans to bring in and launch more scientific interest groups as well that would hopefully fill the gap and fulfill the needs of the members.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And how did you end up becoming a volunteer for the ASBMR?
Oh, it's been a long journey, as with all of us. I
Yeah.
think I might be on my 19th year. I started
Right.
coming as a PhD student
Well,
and
yeah.
presented my PhD research at ASBMR, and it was such a wonderful experience. And as I grew in my career, I volunteered as an abstract reviewer. I'm on the Nutrition Working Group Committee, bringing in cutting edge research on nutrition and bone health at the annual meeting. And then I was also on the Advocacy and Science Policy Committee, which was a great experience. And then Women's Committee recommended me so that I may join the Membership Engagement Committee. And that's how my work with this committee started under our chair at the time, Dr. Fayez Safari. And then when the opportunity came, they were looking for the next chairperson. I decided to, throw in my hat. And of course, with the encouragement of other members on the committee. So it's been a really great experience.
I'm delighted to hear that and to hear how your journey has really encompassed so many committees along the way. And what we hope things like the Women's Committee helping to ensure development of everybody, irrespective of their sex or gender. It's just delightful to hear that it's working. And it's wonderful to hear of the succession planning with Fayez recommending you, and that having been in the committee, you were then able to step up to being the leader of the committee when the time was right. So great to hear that that's working well. Can I ask you now about how your volunteering role has informed your work in your real job in daily life?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the main part that I've learned across these different committees, and especially this one, because it's such a, huge initiative, is to kind of come out of the weeds and actually think about strategically what are the gaps and how we can fulfill those gaps through programming and through ideas that benefits everyone. And that's something a little bit different than when you're doing your own little research and you're in your own bubble, right? You have to step out of it. And I think that's been a really eye-opening experience. And it's very transferable because, in my leadership role at my own institute at Hebrew Senior Life and Harvard Medical School, um, and and the other part is just the networking. Membership engagement requires, you know, talking to and knowing different people, knowing their interests, and even though they don't overlap with what I'm doing, but perhaps I could connect them with someone or with a gap that we're trying to fill. And that's also something that I use at work. So
Which you would, yep, absolutely, absolutely. So my very last question is, what do you like doing outside of work?
yes, we all have very little time, but it's always healthy to step back and enjoy the
Yep.
things that we like. I'm a nutritionist by training, so I enjoy cooking food and trying food from different cuisines. And to that
Yeah.
is really tied the whole concept of travel. I've spent half of my life in India, where I grew up, and the other half in the US. And along the way, I've been, grateful that I've had the opportunity to travel to different places and meet people from different cultures. And that's just been such a learning experience. And I really enjoy that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think actually also thinking about, having careers in research, I think one of the real joys about being part of a research community is we are an international community, and it is a joy of our working environment that we work internationally and we have a chance to travel internationally. And as you say, enjoy lots of interesting and delicious foods. So and so I'm going to ask you, given that our ASM is in Boston, you don't have to answer right now, but I am going to ask you for your recommendations for what we should try as a Boston specific cuisine while we're all there for our annual scientific meeting. So you can take this as a question on notice, and have people come up to you at the meeting and say, "This is what we should try."
Yes, yes. People should definitely stop by and say hello to me at the meeting, and I'm happy to share some recommendations.
It's a plan. It's a plan. Shivani, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Emma.